Hi, it's Chef Robin. I have an appetizer for you. It's almost New Year's Eve, so I wanted to do a really fun and amazing appetizer for you to make this weekend. So I have some Plum Creek Wagyu tri-tip steak that we're gonna use and marinate in a bourbon marinade. We're gonna do a crostini with that, and then a Gorgonzola sauce, and then some caramelized onions. All right, so first up we're gonna do our bourbon marinade. So I have a half a cup of bourbon. We're gonna put that into a baggie along with a third of a cup of brown sugar. And we're gonna do about a teaspoon of both salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna mince up 2 cloves of garlic. Add that in. One more. Add that in. I'm going to mix that up, and then we're going to add our tri-tip steak to this. So I have about a pound of tri-tip steak, and we're gonna let this marinate for about 30 minutes to an hour at room temperature. You don't wanna let it marinate any longer than that, or it actually will start cooking that meat, and we don't want that to happen. We just want the flavor, but we don't want it to start cooking the meat. So we're gonna add that in, and I'm gonna make sure that it's all covered up with that nice bourbon marinade, and then let it hang out. And you can flip it a few times throughout that 30 minutes to an hour, but just want to let it rest. There we go. All right, so while our Wagyu tri-tip steak is marinated in that bourbon marinade, we're gonna go ahead and caramelize our onions. So I've sliced 2 onions really nice and fine, and I have about 3 tablespoons of butter in here on a medium-low heat, and we're just gonna cook this low and slow. It should take about 20 minutes or more, 20 minutes at the least. And we're gonna move it every once in a while, but you wanna let it set for a while too so it can caramelize on the bottom of your pan. I'm gonna sprinkle on about a tablespoon worth of sugar on top of it also, and that just helps to really give it a nice caramel color and a little extra caramelized flavor. Been a little over 20 minutes, and look, caramelization's happening. Looks beautiful. This is what you're looking for, that beautiful caramel color. So this is done. We're just gonna let this hang out and rest while we do our sauce. Gorgonzola sauce time. So let's go. I got 2 tablespoons of butter melting in a pan. I have minced 4 cloves of garlic. That's going in. You only want that to be in for about 30 seconds though before you start adding the rest of your ingredients, or that garlic's gonna burn. So I'm gonna add that in and let that cook just so that that becomes nice and fragrant, and then right away I'm gonna start adding my milk, half a cup of milk, and I'm gonna add a whole cup of Gorgonzola, and then a couple teaspoons worth of pepper. And we're just gonna let this cook in here until that Gorgonzola melts. So my Gorgonzola is almost melted into my sauce, and as soon as it's completely melted, that's the time when you wanna stop and just let it rest so that it's ready to put on your crostini. Next up, the crostini. So I've cut a baguette nice and thin. Have them on a nice sheet pan. I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. I'm gonna put it in for about 5 minutes, just till it's nice and warm. So my Plum Creek Wagyu tri-tip steak has been marinating for about 45 minutes, and I'm ready to cook it. So it's gonna be about 3 to 4 minutes per side. I'm looking for medium rare, so I wanna pull it 130 degrees, and then I'm gonna let it rest for about 5 minutes after that. So it'll move up to 135. Here we go. So it's about 3 minutes per side, and with that nice marinade, it makes them absolutely beautiful. So they're at 130 right now. I'm gonna wrap them in foil. I'm gonna let them rest for about 5 minutes, so they'll come up to about 135. So let's do a little garnish while we're letting that rest for about 5 minutes. I've got some chives. You can also garnish with a little bit of fresh thyme. We're gonna do chives tonight. So you just wanna go through and cut them nice and small. Add this Plum Creek tri-tip Wagyu beef, resting for about 5 minutes. So we're gonna slice it open. See what we got? Oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. So let's make this appetizer. So let's put on the Gorgonzola sauce on our nice toasted crostini. Then we're gonna top that with that beautiful Plum Creek Wagyu tri-tip steak. And then we're gonna add that nice caramelized onion right on top of it. And then to finish it off, a little bit of chives. So the appetizers are done. Remember at the end of the page, there's gonna be a little code, Chef Robin, if you wanna get a little discount and do something really nice and special for this New Year's Eve. Looking forward to 2021. So please have some beautiful appetizers and let's celebrate the new year.